Branding class is in session. Alrighty, students, listen up because we are going to be diving in and having a really big conversation today about how your personal branding is ultimately an initiation, right? This is such an exciting topic, and this is a big message that I really strongly back, not just because of my own personal experience of actually feeling this initiation myself across the last 4 years of my business, but also because of the fact that every single successful person that I watch, and I can guarantee that every single successful person that you watch uses their personal branding as an initiation into their next level self. So let's break this down together, okay? First and foremost, I want to start off by actually defining what the heck does initiation mean? Oh no, my pens aren't doing great because they were laying flat instead of pointing down. So let's hope that you can see what I'm writing on the board here. But let's start out by actually defining what is an initiation, right? Because if you're sitting there okay, cool, this sounds funky, personal branding is an initiation, but you're what the fuck is an initiation? Let me tell you what that is. An initiation is the act, I don't know if you can see that in blue. Hopefully you can see that in blue. The act the act of, I should say, beginning something. Okay? The act of beginning something. So when we talk about initiating something, we're talking about starting something, right? If you think about a relationship, if you initiate a relationship, you're starting a relationship. If we're looking at business conversations, if you initiate a conversation, you are starting a conversation. So when we talk about your personal branding being an initiation, what I am referring to in that is saying that your personal branding is the beginning of your next level. Right? So let's say right now where you're at in your business, maybe you're at square one and you're just starting your business right now. You can use your personal branding as the act of beginning that next level of you and your life. And this is really what I talk about when we're talking about initiation. I'm talking about an initiation into your next level, right? Into your next level. I'm talking about an initiation into your next level of wealth, right? An initiation into a lifestyle shift, right? Why do we start businesses? We start businesses because we want to make an impact. We want to make more money. We want to change the lifestyle. We want to create more freedom, right? We start businesses because we want to ultimately change our lives or change someone else's life, right? So this is why as business owners, you need to be so intentional and so focused on building your personal brand, because that personal brand is the initiation into all of that, into your next level of wealth, of lifestyle, whatever it may be, right? And even if you're not in business, you should still be building a personal brand. That doesn't need to be something that's publicized on social media, but you should be intentionally crafting what your personal brand offline and just in your day-to-day looks like. Because whether you're in business or not, everyone has a personal brand. Your personal brand is literally who you are as a being, and that then becomes the perception that everyone has of you. And that's actually a word that I want to talk more about in this live stream as well. So we go, oh, look at that red. That was juicy. That was better than the blue. So perception is a big topic that we're going to talk about in this live stream as well. And at the end of the day, personal branding is all about changing your perception. It is all about creating a new way that you want people to perceive you, to see you, to think about you, to feel about you, right? So again, it's that initiation into that new perception, that new way that people are going to view, think, and feel about you. So are you seeing why this is such an important conversation to be having? Now, if I think back to my own journey through the last 4 years of entrepreneurship, I started building a brand before I started like running a business in this coaching capacity, right? I started building a personal brand when I started to see, you know, that influencer movement happening online. And at first, like, everyone was so judgy of that influencer movement. Like, if you remember when that first popped off on Instagram and on social media, everyone was so judgy of that. But those people who had the courage and who were bold enough to actually like take that step forward first and build a public personal brand, they are all making bank today. They are the people who have the millions of viewers that is then translating into multi-millions of dollars in their bank account. They are the people who have been on the YouTube game for over a decade, right? These people were ahead of the curve. These people understood the importance, the potential of creating a personal brand back then. Now for me, across my last 4 years of business, every single year, in fact, not just on a yearly basis, but literally sometimes on a weekly and monthly basis, I would be hitting the drawing board and actually thinking about, how do I want to evolve my personal brand? What is the next initiation that I want to step into? And this is actually something that, like, now where I am at this point in my journey, I am still every single week, every single month checking in on whether or not I am still in alignment with the personal brand that I have created, and whether or not there's a new level that's calling me. And so where this is so powerful, and where this has been so powerful for me in my journey, like when I first started and I didn't even have, you know, any clients, I wasn't making any money in my business. Like I had built my podcast, which was a passion project, but that was about it. When I first started, my personal brand that I had built around my podcast literally became the catalyst for me to be able to make my first 6 figures in just 8 months at the age of 22, right? Now, that's some collapse in time right there, okay? So every evolution of me has come with a new initiation of a new level of my personal brand. And so where I am today, and I'm setting my big goals for 2025, I'm like, yep, we're going to do at the minimum $500,000 cash in 2025, like as the goal, the projection that I'm putting out there. That then requires me to shift my personal branding in order to initiate myself into that version of myself who has that business, who holds that business, who leads that team, right? So this is, again, what I mean by your personal branding is the act of beginning something. So what is it that you are wanting to step into in 2025? And with that, I really want you to get clear. Like, is it you want to make your first 6 figures, or do you want to travel the world? Like, what is the goal that you have in mind that you want to step into in 2025? And how can you start to build a personal brand that is actually going to initiate you into becoming that person? It is actually going to start the process of you becoming the person who has that thing, who has those goals. Now, I'm telling you, this is some deep shit that if you can master this early in your journey, it is going to take you far. In fact, I was having a conversation with one of my mentors just yesterday, and he was telling me how, you know, this kind of investing into his personal brand was one of the very first things he did when starting his business, because he understood this concept. And he also mentioned that, you know, literally a couple months ago, like he invested $20,000 into revamping his brand, because he understands that his personal brand is the initiator of him being able to step in to that next level of business that he wants to create for himself, right? And I know you have a vision. I know you have a vision of something that's so much bigger than what you're living and experiencing right now. I know that you feel some sort of a pull on your heart to like create something that's so much greater, right? I know that you understand and you can feel that there is untapped potential within you that is wanting to come out. And so that is what you can use your personal brand to do for you, okay? Let me know if you guys are following on with this. Cool. So the next place that I want to go with this is actually talking about what is the process right? Because we can talk about the why. Like, we understand that personal branding now is so important because it is the act of beginning the next level. It is the thing that's going to create that shift from, and let's actually do a visual of this, right? And let's talk about perception here as well. Let's say you're at your start of your business right now. And so maybe you're standing here, right? This is you. Now, you're standing at this level, but you know that where you want to get to is up here, right? You know that this is where you are right now, but this is ultimately where your potential is guiding you to be. Now, every single one of these steps is a new initiation. It's a new evolution. It's a new level of your personal brand. So what I want you to start to think about and what I want you to start to ask yourself the question of is what is the shift that needs to happen within the way that you perceive yourself and the way that your audience perceives you in order for you to move from this step to this step. And then from this step to this step. And then that step and then that step. And now the beautiful thing about your personal brand is you don't need to take it one step at a time. When it comes to your personal brand and when it comes to creating that perception, initiating that new perception that you want to have of yourself, that you want your audience to have of you, you can make the decision to create a brand that takes you, oh, that's crisp and green, to create a brand that takes you from here, where you're standing right now, all the way to here, where you want to be. Okay? So you don't have to take this slow route. And it's okay if you want to take that slow route, but you don't have to take it one step at a time with your personal brand. This is what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that your initiation can literally take you from where you are right now, to where you want to be. But what does that look like? And the process to actually getting there, there's a couple of things. One, the first thing is about clarity, okay? You actually have to have the clarity about what the heck this level even is. Because if you don't know what that level is or what that level looks like, how are you going to know what you need to do, who you need to initiate yourself into, right? So think about like these three things. Think about finding clarity on who you are at that next level. Who are you at that next level that you want to get to as a person, as a leader, as a being, right? Then think about what does the wealth look like? So we got you, and then we got wealth. What does your wealth look like at that next level? Get crystal clear on that. And then the third piece is what does your lifestyle look like, right? This one can be like the fun one. Like, what is the daily experiences you're having? How do you wake up? What does every aspect of your day look like? Where are you living? What are you doing? Are you traveling? How do you have fun? What are your relationships like? Right? So get the clarity on what those three things look like at this level that you want to get yourself to. Okay? How do you show up? How do you be? Who are you when you are this version of yourself? What does your wealth look like? What does your bank account look like? What does your assets look like? What does your business look like? And what does your lifestyle look like? Okay? And so once you've found clarity, okay, number one is clarity on those things, then the second step is design. Okay? So the first thing is we're finding clarity on where you're actually going. Then we're starting to design your brand to align with that, right? We're starting to piece together all of the pieces of the puzzle. We're starting to take that vision, that mission that you have and turn it into a tangible brand, right? And so this is where brand design comes into play. There's many steps to designing a brand, but at the core of it, it's like really starting to think about the senses, right? And again, like what we spoke about earlier, your brand is perception, right? So how do you need people to perceive you? How do you need to perceive you in order to get yourself to that level? And perception is so important on two levels, right? Perception from others and perception from self. And you need to have both of those things aligning, right? We can't just be having others perceive us in that way that we want to be perceived. We actually need to feel and believe that we are that person as well. Because if there's that incongruency happening, you're going to struggle with number 3 down here, okay? And number 3 is embody and integrate, okay? Number 3 is embodying and integrating. So what this means is actually embodying that version of yourself who has these things that you desire, and it means integrating the brand into all aspects of your life. When I talk about integrating and embodying a personal brand, this isn't about just playing dress up. This isn't about just putting on a facade. This is about actually like living, sleeping, breathing that brand, that perception that you are creating, right? So you're really starting to see here, guys, how personal branding is so much more than just colors and fonts. Personal branding is the art of initiating yourself into your next level, into your next level of being, of wealth, of living, of impact, of absolutely everything. Right? But so many people are sleeping on this. So many people are sleeping on this potential that they could be tapping into because they're not understanding the importance and the power of personal branding. Right? But you guys who are watching this now, you understand that. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. That's why you're still tuning in. Right? So those 3 things, the clarity, the design, and the embodiment is what I need you to focus on. It's what I need you to commit to focusing on for the rest of this year and all of next year. If you want to get to that star destination that you want to get to. Okay? Now, if you're wanting to start this initiation and you're wanting to be like, fuck yes, 2025 is the year that I go all in on this, then you gotta come and hang out with me, okay? Because on the 11th of January, I am running an in-person workshop which is focused on all of this, okay? The workshop that I am running, we are literally diving into this entire concept, and across the span of an entire day, we are not only going to create that new perception, like find that clarity on who it is we want you to become, but we are going to begin the initiation so that when you step away from that workshop, you are already going to have begun the embodiment and integration process, which means that you are going to be stepping literally into the new year further ahead than most people will be by the end of January, right? So if that's calling you, DM me the word brand because my Behind the Brand workshop is happening. Yes, Talia, I'm so excited to see you there. It is only $29 to register and attend. You literally get to spend an entire day with me. Let me put this in perspective for you. I have branding clients who pay me over $10,000 literally to work with me on this shit. On this stuff, guys. But for just $29, you can join me at the workshop. Why? Because I think that everyone needs to understand this. Everyone needs to experience this. And everyone needs to be prioritizing this and making their personal branding the thing that they focus on in order to get them to that next level. So if you're going to be joining me there, then send me the word brand in my DMs. I'll send you the link so we can get you registered. But if you're someone who maybe can't make it to the event and you're like, oh, but I really want to prioritize this. I really want to make 2025 the year where I just go all in on my personal brand. Send me a DM anyway, because I've got multiple different levels that we can work together on in order to really get this initiation with your personal brand rolling, in order to find the clarity, create the design, and begin the embodiment and integration process. So we can have a chat via DM if that's something you would like to have. Otherwise, sending you guys so much love. I am also saving this on my YouTube. So like, you know, if it's the year 2030 and you're watching this video on my YouTube, I'm probably going to be one of the world's leading branding strategists by that point, but I'm sure you can still work with me, and we'll probably put whatever links you can do that in the caption of the YouTube video. Here we are, initiating that right into the ether in 2030. One thing I know that I'm going to be doing in 2030 is speaking on global stages about this very topic. Personal branding as an initiation into your next level. Love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Branding class will be back again soon. Trying to do them daily. Sometimes don't do them daily, but we're doing the best we can, okay? And if you want to find out about the branding workshop, send me a DM, Brand. And if you also just want to chat about how I can work with you on your branding, feel free to DM me as well. Love you all. Thank you so much for your energy. I am so excited to see you at the workshop, and go and start creating your powerful magnetic diamond brands. All right? Mwah. Love you all.